Hi everyone, this is going to be my review for Ocean's 8. I had to preface this one before I get started. It's important that everyone knows that my favorite movie of all time is actually Ocean's 11. So the bar is pretty high on this one. I have a lot to expect from this one. When they first announced they were going to do a ladies' versions of Ocean's 11, I was very, I wasn't really excited about it because I love the Ocean's 11, the one that came out in the 1990s, so much that I almost didn't want to. I don't know. I was really nervous, and then I saw the trailer. And I was like, the trailer actually looks really good. It looks like it's going to be paying homage to the one that came out in the 1990s, with George Clooney and everything. So I was going to give it a chance. So I grabbed a couple of my girlfriends and we made a girls' night out and we went to see Ocean's 8. Ocean's 8, just a little summary. If you haven't seen Ocean's 11, 12, or 13, this is actually takes place after all of those, so don't pay attention to the numbers thinking that it's going to be like that's throwing the order and it's a prequel. It's not. It's the fourth movie in the sequence. It's 8 because there's 8. The crew of the con job is 8 females. So basically, quick summary. So this is Sandra Bullock's character. Now, her character, she is the sister of Danny Ocean. She recently got out of jail, and she's planning this big job heist where she wants to steal one of the most rarest necklaces that's been in a vault for over 50 years from off of a woman who is going to the Met, and that necklace is worth $150 million. And so she gets, her friends, some new people into this crew to pull off this heist of stealing this necklace off of this celebrity. So it goes through all the different, the setup and the execution of the heist. It's a lot of fun. So, again, as I said in many previous ones, con movies are my favorite type of movie, and I always look for, it to be as clever and original as possible. It's the same director who also did Logan Lucky and the original Ocean, so it had kind of that same direction. And it really did actually pay homage to the feel and the spirit of Ocean's 11. And I actually really liked Ocean's 8 better than I liked 13 and 12. I don't even speak of 12. 12 is awful. But I actually like this one better than 13. It was a lot of fun. It had a lot of the same elements. I did enjoy the first scene, it being her trying to get parole, just like in Ocean's 11 it's Danny trying to get parole in prison, so it's kind of like the same situation, and showing how she's automatically conning her way as soon as she gets out. So actually I'm job well done actually to the cast and the crew and everybody who was involved in this movie, because actually this movie was a lot of fun. Now I do have some critiques. Do I like this better than Ocean's 11? No, of course not. This was a lot better than any of the other con movies. Like, the other con movie I really saw earlier this year was Den of Thieves. We all know that that's the worst movie I've seen all year. But this is better than, Logan Lucky, a lot of the other con movies I've seen in the last 2 years. Just maybe because it had that spirit. It had, the same composer, so it had the same music. They did a lot of, finishing shots instead of the fountain at the very end. They were all kind of on the train, kind of leaving in there, showing what they each accomplished with their take. So, like I said, it was a lot of the same moments, but done differently, and I actually enjoyed that. One thing I was really looking forward to, and I was expecting it, was just cameos from the Ocean's 11. Obviously, there was going to be, Bernie Mac wasn't going to be there because unfortunately he passed away, rest in peace. But I was expecting a few cameos, and there was no disappointment, except for one big one. So it was cool to see Ruben, and it was cool to see the acrobat make an appearance in there. But the one thing that kept on leading on to this entire movie is she visits Danny's tomb. So we're to believe that Danny passed away, had died. But they kept on mentioning, even her first comment is, hey, you better be in there. So there's this suspicion that he's really not dead. That's just another con. And so we're left as an audience member to guess if he's really alive or dead. That's not part of the plot whatsoever. It's just like a speculation of, is he really dead? Is he really alive? We don't really know. And so I felt that he wasn't really dead. I felt like he wasn't, just because the way they kept on talking. And it was kind of like I thought they were foreshadowing it. And at the very end, when the very last shot is her sitting back in front of that, sitting in front of his tomb, and she pours a martini drink right over there. And I was expecting, because all you see is just her head. I was expecting, after she said that last line, which is, you would have loved it, we didn't maybe have to see him, just to hear his voice maybe behind her saying, yeah, I know, or something like that. Or his last shot would have been like him around the corner or something, just a shot. And I think that would have been like perfect. And I had another friend who said it would have been, or if you heard like a martini glass chink and you didn't know who it was, but it would have set up for some sort of sequel. So I thought there was an opportunity that was missed, and maybe it's just because we don't know where they want to go to next in here, and they didn't want to maybe open up for a sequel. But I definitely really wanted Danny to be in that last shot. But I mean, I realized throwing in his character may have taken away from the ladies in the main story, so I didn't really mind him not being in the rest of the movie. But that last shot, I feel like we should have got it. Let's see what else. The twist was really cool. Just like there was a twist in Ocean's 11, how the twist was actually seeing how the con actually worked. Because when we're watching it in Ocean's 11, we're really thinking that they're really in the vaults, and this is really happening. And come to find out, they were in the vault, but they were watching it. They filmed it days earlier, and that was like a fun twist to what was going on. But this twist in the movie, bringing in Yang to steal all of the jewelry, was a very cool twist. There's no way we could have caught it before, other than they only let on that she bought that toy submarine, and it was the only thing we didn't it never came into play until that moment when it was explained. So very cool twist. Now the cons about this movie that I didn't enjoy is, I felt like there was too much exposition. There was too much like beginning story. If you see the original Ocean's 11, it doesn't take that long for things to, kick off and go. He only really had to talk to 3 people, and then you saw the other crew members get, kind of 1, 2, 3, they're in. And now this one, it was like a story behind each one of the characters picking up, and then they also explained the cons before they did the cons sometimes. And I kind of liked before, where the con was happening, we didn't know that it was a con until we placed it together afterwards. And so I just think some things just dragged down a little bit more than they needed to be. It could just kind of cut to the chase a little bit more. Now I realized at the very end, we kind of saw a glance at what her list she kept on hiding was. And then I was kind of mad, because the list is a list of cons that she needed to do, and I wanted to know what was on that list. I wanted to know what the cons were called, because if you remember in Ocean's 11, when it's just Danny and Brad Pitt's character talking, they're like, he's just like, you're gonna need a whole list of cons to do, and we're like, oh, off the top of the head, you're gonna need a Dulce, a Jim Brown, 2 Jethro Spinks, and not to mention the biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever. And to us, that's gibberish. We don't know what they're talking about. And it isn't until you realize later that that's what the cons are called. And so she had a list of cons, and I think, I thought it would have added to the story if she had the little thing like, we're going to do this, reading off of her list. Because that was just kind of the fun, and I kind of missed it. I didn't like not knowing what was on that list. I think that's about it, though. I mean, it was an overall fun movie. I'm definitely going to watch it many times over to catch things I didn't catch before. Great actresses are in this movie. Not only Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett's in this movie. I really like Awkwafina's character in this movie. Even Helena Bonham Carter's in this, and she was really... I like how she didn't steal the spotlight. like she does in a lot of her films. But yeah, definite, and even Anne Hathaway, she was fantastic playing the bimbo that got smart. I thoroughly enjoyed the cast of characters and the story. So where's this going? Where's it going on my list? So I've seen now 22 movies this year, and I'm putting this at number 7. It's going above Deadpool 2. I just kind of enjoyed the sequel a little bit more than Deadpool 2, and I'm probably going to watch this one a few more times than I'll watch Deadpool 2. But number 6 above this one is Molly's Game. I think the story is just a little bit more cleverly told, and it is kind of another con movie a little loosely, and the story was just really good, and the layout of Molly's Game was just a little bit more better than Ocean's 8 was. Alright guys, that is it for my review. Alright, I'll see you next time.